Money doesn't buy happiness, but it certainly gets rid of a lot of discomfort. Dear entrepreneurs, it's Roberto. I'm still in lovely Charlotte, North Carolina, at this conference, Giant Conf, and today I want to talk about the cost of doing business. I think this is something that's important for a lot of people, and so I'm going to break down a few of my business expenses, probably not all of them, but I want you to be thinking about your cost of doing business and if you're making smart investments. So, while I'm not going to get into how much money I actually make, because one, I think that's pretentious, and two, it's not really anybody's business, I will get into what I spend on certain things. A primary example being Adobe Creative Cloud. I have the full Creative Cloud subscription. Many of you already know that, which means that I'm paying about $55 a month for that after taxes. You round it up to 60 bucks. It's maybe $720 a year. And guess what? As far as I'm concerned, it's totally worth it. It's a great investment for me. I use almost every single tool in the suite. Paying the money for that whole thing up front, if I had the old version, yeah, I own it forever. But how useful is that to me when it gets outdated after 6 months, or when I get new hardware and it can't even take full advantage of it, or it can't use the new camera that I got because it's not compatible. So I just like having the newest software. I like driving in the newest model car, and so I don't mind renting or leasing my software. And as you're gonna find out, it's one of my least expensive things that I've invested in my business. So I get where people are coming from, but when people complain about renting software, I feel like they're whining because everything else is more expensive. In fact, here's an example of something that's much more expensive than my monthly Creative Cloud membership. My email list. To be able to do the Create Awesome Community newsletter and send you guys motivational emails on a weekly basis, send you updates, send you free ebooks that I've put together, free checklist, things like that. I end up spending around $80 a month right now because I have a 6,000 plus subscriber email list. As that grows and it gets closer to being a 10K email list, that's gonna get astronomically more expensive. I expect that by 2017, I'll be paying $250 a month just to be able to email people for free. Yep, so that's another business expense. But having an email list means that I'm not reliant on a platform. I'm not reliant on YouTube. I'm not reliant on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram to have direct access to my audience, have intimate access with them, and to be able to deliver like free resources that I want to give you guys. So that's something that's valuable in having an email list. Another big investment for me isn't a monthly thing, it is sporadic, and that is my hardware and equipment budget. I give myself a $5,000 to $10,000 a year infrastructure budget, which means that in terms of investing in hardware, whether it's camera gear, whether it's a new desktop, whether it's a new laptop, I give myself a $5,000 to $10,000 a year budget so that throughout the year I can either make very large purchases or make a bunch of small ones. That adds up, and again, it's spread out throughout the year. So it's not like I'm going out and spending a ton of money all at once. Even in building my new desktop this year, which altogether, if I count the monitors, is closer to a $3,000 investment out of that 5 to 10. That was significant, but it wasn't all at once. I did it piece by piece as I did my research. So I built it over the course of a summer, so it was spread out. I think at any given time, I think the most I spent in one shot buying parts for that was maybe $800 at a time for a few parts. So it's things like that. With my new investment in drone footage and drone videography, I'm going to be spending about maybe $1,200 up front to get the GoPro Karma system, which means I'm going to be getting the Karma grip, the Karma drone, and the Hero 5 Black Edition, and that shoots 4K. So that's another investment in infrastructure. That's kind of putting me close to my ceiling for the year in terms of overall infrastructure investment. And you guys have seen me buy a bunch of other stuff. So that's huge and that adds up. If people are complaining about software rental, try owning hardware to do what you need to do and buying that all up front. Some final thoughts. Not everything required for running a business is going to be wildly expensive. I think I pay $50 a year for cloud storage with Carbonite, $10 a month for my Dropbox service. And you know, there are minor other things, $100 a year for audio blocks, video blocks, graphic stock. These things don't have to be wildly expensive. You just have to make sure that they're a practical investment that are going to help you do the things that are going to generate revenue for you in the short term and in the long term. And so I actually have a lot of lists for my resources in the description below for you guys to check out. But the main thing I want to encourage you to do is just think about what are smart, practical things that you need for your business, and don't cheap out on things that are very important to you. In my case, I don't cheap out on things like my camera gear or the rest of my equipment because it just saves me time and I make the money back. So you really just need to think of it in those practical terms. Question of the day. What is a recent investment you've made in your business? Let me know in the comment section. Anyway, like this video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And as always, you guys, remember, create something awesome today.